Hey, Alpha Tribe, welcome back. My name is Alva. This is a safe space, and this is part 3 of my third traumatic / toxic relationship. This is part 3 of my trauma tea and therapy series. So you already know I have my tea here. It's almost done, literally almost done. But I find that sharing my story and drinking some tea or anything that's nostalgic usually helps a lot. So if you guys are munching on something, drinking your favorite drink, something that makes you feel better, or if you have a tea recipe, put it in the comment section, because I love recommendations and trying new things and stuff like that. If you haven't already watched parts 1 and 2, they're linked below, so make sure that you check those out first, so you're not really gonna know what I'm talking about. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. If you like my content, give it a like, a big thumbs up. If you have any comments, please don't let them be negative comments, but you go ahead and type them and I'll read them anyway. And last but not least, this is a trigger warning. Trigger warning. Obviously the description has a little bit of details, the title has a little bit of details, so if you're not comfortable with this type of topic, then just go ahead and click out. I'd rather spare you the trigger and trauma, but this is what this series is about, so realistically we're going to talk about it. In part 1, I explained to you guys what some of the red flags were in this relationship with P, and then in part 2 I went further into like financial and a little bit of physical abuse. In part 3 we're gonna go over what happened and what it did to me. So again, trigger warning. So what happened to me was, we were drunk one day and we got into a fight. He pushed me. I remember I was like riding a scooter up to him or something. I was riding a scooter up to him in the street, and it was like kind of drizzly outside. Like, it wasn't full on drizzling or raining, but it was like misty outside, and it was really late at night, and we were both really drunk. I forgot what they were celebrating, but it wasn't a holiday because it was August. It was August of 2020, and he like started hitting me and pushing me. Oh, because he didn't want me on the street. Possessiveness. I promise, when I'm smiling, is not because it's funny. It is not funny. It's because it's ridiculous. Okay, he starts pushing me and like shoving me and calling me names, calling me all types of names. Bitch this, your mother this, hoe this, you know, very, very belittling, disrespectful, nasty, ugly names. So here we go back into the verbal abuse, which at the time would go in through one ear and out the other because I was so used to it. If I would get a message on my phone, I'll be called a hoe. If I didn't reply fast enough, he'll say that I'm a slut and I'm talking to other men. If anything, I did anything that wasn't what he wanted when he wanted it, he would degrade me. So I was already used to it. And then there were the 2 scenarios where he put his hands on me, like he pushed me and then he, you know, like grabbed me up. And, you know, there was pressure. He didn't like block my airways. Again, watch part 2 if you don't know what I'm talking about. But he definitely grabbed me up and slammed me down. And it didn't leave any marks, but it was very scary because I was just like, what the fuck? So when this happened, I said that was in the spring. This happened late in the summer. He started spazzing out, and there was people everywhere. People were watching this happen. Nobody got in. Nobody said, hey P, stop doing that, or hey Alva, go home. Nobody. Everybody was watching. Thank God nobody recorded and like put it on social media, but people were definitely watching. Then he ended up taking me home, and I just remember that when he took me home, we were fighting in the staircase of my building. He took me home in his friend's car. His friend drove me home, and he was trying to get me up to my front door. So like afterward, I remember feeling super guilty because I'm like, oh, but he tried to help me. Like, he tried to take me home. No, girl. Like, he was kind of trying to cover his own ass. I don't really know what his motives were at that point. I still am confused about it. But he wasn't being like romantic. Like, he was trying to get rid of me. And I remember I didn't want to leave because I wanted to figure out like, why are you treating me like this? So when he takes me home, I remember we're fighting. We end up falling down the stairs. I had pulled out, he had like long hair. I pulled out so much of his hair, and that's the worst thing I did to the kid. Like, I'm talking about, he put his hands on me. The worst thing I did to him was pull out his hair. And like, we literally have the same body type. Like, he was slimmer than me. I was thicker than him in every way. Men are naturally stronger, I guess. So I guess he was a little bit stronger than me. But like, my arms are bigger, my legs are bigger, my muscles are bigger than you. Like, but whatever. We were just going head to head. And I was defending myself at that point because you're not about to beat me up. He did beat me up though. He proceeded to beat me up. Then I noticed, like, I didn't even ever make it into my apartment. So since I didn't make it into my apartment, I blacked out because I was fighting. And then when I came to, I realized that, like, I only have my phone. My wallet is gone. Like, my Metro card, my debit card. I had 2 debit cards on me, and my Metro card were all gone. And then I had cash that was gone. And I was like, he took my stuff. So because I was drunk, I ended up going back to where he was so that I could get my stuff back. And that's when I called the police. And I told them everything. I told him, like, you know, he put his hands on me and then he robbed me, and, you know, I need my stuff back. Like, I'll tell you, I ratted him out. You know why though? Because he was a little ass kid. There's a lyric from a song that I forget all the time, but it's like, why would you mess with the little one? Like, why would you mess with the little one when you could mess with the big dog, kind of thing? Like, he was literally, his reputation is not like I was writing out, you know, the most important person on the block. I was writing out like this little ass kid that probably wasn't gonna get caught anyway. Actually never did get caught. He used to get arrested in the street, and more embarrassingly enough, I used to go and like take him cigarettes and cash, and like be his middleman. Like, I used to make sure that if he had any messages from somebody or wanted to give a message to somebody, that I would like write it down and go and take it to whoever it was to. Which is like, looking back at it, I don't know why I put myself in that situation, but I used to do the type of stuff like that for him. So knowing that you have like a criminal record, you're new to the country, you don't even have papers. He used to try and tell me like he wanted to get married and have kids, and thank God I wasn't that thirsty for him, because I know chicks that would have done it, you know, to just tie you down. And then God forbid I would have stayed in that type of situation and it would have gotten worse. Come to find out, like, I'm actually upset with myself a lot of times for not continuing to pursue like putting him behind bars permanently, because come to find out, he ended up getting another girl pregnant, and the stories that I heard, unfortunately, was like just 2 or 3 stories, which is still not good. He does the same thing to that little girl, and it makes me feel really bad, because I wish I could have, like, I feel responsible. Like, I wish I could have saved her, like, you know, survivor's guilt. But I'm lucky that I saved myself, because I had gotten an x-ray and they said that he didn't break my rib, but it definitely, something happened to my rib. Like, my rib used to like crack and move when it wasn't supposed to. I couldn't sit up or use my entire abdomen at all. I went camping like a few weeks later, and I was in so much pain. It was terrible, 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 terrible. I ended up losing all my friends. I did have one friend that was there for me the night that I was admitted to the hospital, which was that night. I had so much adrenaline running through my body that the police officers were like, go to the hospital and take this police report and press charges and everything like that. And I was just like, okay. Like, I didn't want to do any of that. I wanted immediate justice, but I don't know if I ever really, like, the type of closure and stuff that I wanted from him at the time, I knew that I was never gonna get. So the way that it came to me was through God. God got him, and God got me. So I don't even know where I want to go with that. It's really sad looking back at it. Like, looking back at it, I feel healed from the situation, because I hurt for the person that went through it. Like, I hurt from the version of myself. I hurt for the version of myself that had to go through that type of trauma to learn what I had to learn. You know what I'm saying? I hurt for the girl that had faith in a little kid, and that was grieving about a bunch of other stuff, and didn't really want to listen to, or didn't really have the guidance or like somebody to talk to me in my love language, because I didn't have any of that. And I was just willing to accept any form of love, which is never okay. Never okay form of love. That wasn't love. That was not love. I don't know what the fuck that was, but that was an era in my life that I had to go through to get to where I am today, because had it not been for recognizing all of that, I wouldn't have been able to recognize all the good that I have now. You know, when they say that girls want like the hood guy or the bad guy, the bad boy or whatever, I don't think I would have been able to appreciate the amazing people that I have in my life right now had it not been for me getting treated like the bottom of the barrel. It sounds crazy. I hope that somebody could like relate to my story, not in the sense of like that I hope somebody went through what I went through or worse, but I hope that somebody understands the mentality that comes through it. Similar to what I said before about, you know, you can't really judge somebody's situation until you're in it, because I definitely learned from being in it. And it took me those scenarios for me to actually like learn, this is what I went through. I am a survivor. I could do better. I will do better. And I grew from it. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted to talk about this story for a really long time because it's very surprising to me. It's so surprising to me, like knowing who I am today. It's just like, damn girl, like you really went through that. Like you really came out with the upper hand, como quien dice. It's unfortunate that I ever had to go through it, but it's just like I wish I never had to. I hope that that kid grows up, wherever he is. I hope that he finds God or something, like mostly that he finds God, but that also like that we get our justice, because it's just not safe enough for people like me to go back to. I'm done with my tea. I'm really sorry if anything I said triggered you guys. If you have any questions about my story, go ahead and put them in the comment section, because I would love to make like a part 4 just answering questions about Cupcake or P. You know, I know that I left out a lot of details. This wasn't like a typical story time of me going through every single scenario, but it was just like an overview of a timeline for the last 2 years. So dumb. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and I will be back. You know I'll be back, so just stay tuned. All right, peace out everybody. I love you guys so much, and have a great night or day wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Much love.